Well, good morning again. Um, say Kevvie, I watched I watched her video of first time tag. And I myself I've only done one tag, uh book eclectic that I did off of hers. So I'm gonna do this. I may not have many answers to it because when I was younger, I did not want to go into a book. Anything to learn, to read, to do all that stuff, it's like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I mean, I would rather watch DuckTales when I got home. On Friday nights, I'd rather watch TGIF. Really. I did not like to read at all. I hated reading. I even when I was in grade school, like for instance 6th grade, there was the instructor, or back then it was the teacher. She divided us into three sections of the classroom, right? Okay, I was in the last section. I was. And then I wasn't put into a special program for people that had a hard time reading until she found out that Kel can, well, it was a different name, but Kel, um, are you having trouble? Not that she said it to me, around everybody else, but she was witnessing that I was having a hard time comprehending what I was reading. This was this was in the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and yeah, this was before the internet, before cell phones, believe it or not. So, yeah, I had a hard time doing all that stuff because it was boring. I hated it. Normally, when you don't like something, if you don't understand something, you you reject it. You push it away. I loved watching movies. I loved watching TV. I loved um, putting my mind at rest because only time I had to really focus was when I was at school. That was it. Everything else was like a cakewalk. I got home. I hated doing homework. I all that stuff. It's like, hell, if you would have done all this stuff, hell, I mean, hell, I went to college and I was like a B plus student because I got my associate's bachelor's degree. Anyway, long story short, I'm doing it. So stay tuned for the um the book tag. Okay? The first book tag. What is the first full-length book that you remember reading on your own? I will have to say that one book that tells you a lot, doesn't it? That one book, honestly, I had to read it on my own. I'll do my best to come up with it. Because I remember that book in 6th grade. I hated it. Um, yeah, I absolutely hated it. I mean, it's maybe it's a mixture of different things. I couldn't comprehend it. I didn't understand it. I didn't want to read it, and it didn't interest me. So yeah. So I don't remember what it was. I'll see if I can find it. I'll share a link up, not link, but a picture up here of what it was. What was the first series you remember finishing? Well, I didn't even finish it because the actual well, um, actually the first series I finished literally reading. was A Court of Thorn and Roses. I'm a late bloomer. I really am. I'm a late bloomer. I mean, I was going to say 50 Shades of Grey trilogy, but I didn't even finish the third book. No, I just, because the movies came out as like, oh, let's watch this. Let's watch this. Because I would rather watch a movie than read a book. What is the first book to movie adaptation you remember watching, knowing it was a book to movie adaptation? Actually, the only, I like that, the only book to movie adaptation, only one so far that I remember even reading, is Misery. Misery. Yep. That's it. I mean, I loved watching the movie. I really did. I loved watching the movie. Kathy Bates and James Caan is good in it. But the book is so much better. It's so much more gruesome. And if you want a horror book, if you want, like, to be scared, be on your, yeah, read the book. I actually, after I read the book, got the book from the library, I actually bought the book. And it's still in plastic right now from Amazon. And I'm like, I don't think I'm even going to open the book. I think anytime I want to reread it, I would just get it from the library. Yeah, page. Yeah, yeah. Misery. By far. Okay? By far. Who was your first book crush? Oh my gosh. I don't even remember. Because there's a lot of different types of books out there. I'll just say, my first book crush probably, I'll go with Christian Grey and 50 Shades of Grey. He is my first. I mean, I love it when Anna says he's 50 Shades of fucked up. What was the first? Oh, who was your first book friend? Well, in real life, there was a girl. There was a girl that I used to work with, well over 20 years ago. What is the first adult book you remember reading? Not for school. Oh my god. The first. Oh my god. The first book. Oh Lord. Again, I really don't. I don't read much, but I'm getting back into doing that. So, oh Lord. Okay, okay. And I actually own the book now. And it's called Digital Fortress. It's one of Brown, Dan Brown's books. It's all about tech stuff, IT stuff, and yeah, all that. So that's the first book I read outside of school that I remember. Really remember. That comes to my mind. Who was your first character role model? Are we talking about book yet? I imagine. I imagine we are. Role model. I really don't have one. I mean, I'm really not much of a reader per se. I'm a slow reader at that. I am. I would rather watch a movie, watch a series on TV or something like that than I would reading. I would say for a character, I don't have one. I really don't. Who was the first author you were truly inspired by? Oh, yeah. Because I'm late in the game. At least I'm in the game. Yeah. The first person I was really inspired was E.L. James. Yeah. She wrote, back in 2012, I graduated with my first degree in 2012. I was a late bloomer on a lot of things. Sit. But at least I was a bloomer. So yeah, she was my first person that inspired me. Because the way she writes, it's like the way the way I think, and usually the way I write, or the way I write. Yeah. So, I would say E.L. James. Who was the first book you remember? A book you remember touching, or oh, how? What was the first book you remember touching or moving you? The last book that I remember, okay, there's two books actually. The Winter People. No, not Winter People. God, what was that book? With the Before We Were Yours. You need to get that. If you didn't get that, that really surprised me. That really surprised me. Oh my God, it's so sad too. It is so sad. Before We Were Yours. And the other one is, oh, Pretty Little Wife. That's what it was called. Pretty Little Wife. That book, I love the type of book that will just, you know, do something in the beginning of the book and make you read. Sit. I do. Um, that book is basically all about a woman that doesn't like how she's being treated. Her husband is cheating on her, and later on finds out that there is a game between the the older brother, and the father. It's a very sick, twisted game of all these young teenagers that that they end up being in the woods and shooting, like a shooting game, if you will. It's definitely worth another reread. I know how it ends, but it's at the same time, it's like, it's definitely worth a reread too. But yeah, those two books. And so, when was the first? What was the first classic you read not for school? Oh God, I don't really read classics. To me, it's a classic because um, if you know me, if you know my channel, you know I don't like to read. I would rather read. I would, yeah, I don't like to read, but I would rather read. I would rather watch a movie, watch TV, watch something, versus read, because it's like when I was growing up, I had a learning disability, still have a learning disability, or however, differently abled, however you want to use the semantics on that. But I've always been a person to watch versus read. It's like, um, my mother used to say, well, you know, the book is so much. Well, no, she said the book is so different, and it's like, well, you could have expanded, and said the book is so much better, because honestly, it is. For instance, the book that I'm about to mention to you about, the classic book, is called Misery by Stephen King, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. How do I explain the movie? Okay. Um, if you guys ever like watching the movie, I've seen the movie countless times. Kathy Bates and I share the same special day. Not the year, but the same special day. James Caan is in there, and he is remarkable. Remarkable. Being the author on the bed trying to recover from the accident. All the while, the book. Okay. I gave the book a 4.5 out of a 5. The book is so much more gruesome. Seriously. Sorry. Seriously, if you want a book that's full of horror, seriously. Think I'm not trying to spoil it here for you, but there's actually a book that I'm getting into. It's called Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I'm back. I told you she wanted more treats, right? These are the treats that she likes. The good and fun triple flavor kebabs. So you got chicken, duck. Sorry, chicken and duck in them. She loves these. I don't know. Then again, I'm a puppy. I'm a person. There we go. So, yeah. Misery. Oh my God. Hands down. And I'm not going to open up that wrapper that I got from Amazon. I'll show you. I told you I had it. Misery. Yeah, I am not going to open this package. If I want to read it again, and I know I will, I'll get it from the library. But yeah, I wanted to show you I have Misery. Honestly, yeah, because oh my God, this to me, you know, I hold it near dear to my heart because I love the movie Misery. It's about it is the only book of Stephen King's books threshold that I have read from cover to cover. Oh yeah. And by far this book is 100 times better. Seriously, 100 times better than the movie. Well, why'd you give it a 4.5? It was slow in some parts. That's why I give it a 4.5. Would you give a different one now? No. I'd still stick with what I have. What I'm thinking about now. 4.5. 4.5 out of a 5. I mean, come on. 4.5 out of a 5. 5 out of a 5. It's like. But anyway, I wanted to share that with you. So I'll be right back. Extra exercises. It feels good for the body. What else? What was your first YA book you read? Oh, this is going to be an easy one for me to remember. Because a lot of the books that I read are YA. Heck, even that I've read. I read this months ago. In fact, if I can find the link, I will put the link or the card up here for a book for Roald Dahl. He does a lot of young adult classic, like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I think Charlotte's Web. Oh no, E.B. White, I believe, does. What was your first ebook you read? Believe it or not, yeah, the first book of the 50 Shades of Grey. My mother got me a Kindle for my graduation. Yeah, she got me a Kindle for my graduation, and the first book I got was that, and yeah, I every waking moment I used to read that. So, taking others. Yeah. Anybody that wants to do this first time book tag, by all means, consider yourself tagged. You enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.